170. The scholarship component of the program gives the participants the opportunity to enhance their academic qualifications. And in 2021, 51 participants graduated with degrees in areas such as agronomy, cytology, telecommunications, engineering, just to name a few. For this year, we are proposing the training in CVQ areas such as marine, including boat building, small engine repairs, ICT, we want to target printing and graphics, mobile app development and web design. Under health, we're looking at patient care and nursing assistant. In 2018, batch 6 of the program was launched, and in 2020, batch 7. This Thursday, March 31st, we will be launching batch 8 of the program at the National Cricket Stadium. So far, the registration is almost completed, and today will be the final day for registration as we cater for participants who will be coming from the Grenada Council for the Disabled. This year, we decided to incorporate a group from the Grenada Council for the Disabled to ensure that we maintain our inclusiveness policy within the program. The ministry is grateful to the NIS and other financial institutions who were part of the registration process, ensuring that we had a one-stop shop service during the registration process so that the participants could have registered for the NIS as well as the bank to open their bank accounts to facilitate easy processing of their information by the end of the month. For batch 8, we are catering for at least 1,000 new participants into the new Imani program. I now move on to YouthBiz. YouthBiz, formerly known as the Grenada Youth Enterprise Initiative, we rebranded into YouthBiz in 2019, and this is the microfinance unit of the Division of Youth, providing training and financial support to young entrepreneurs, and they receive loans at reduced interest rate to start new businesses, to grow their existing businesses, and to expose the entrepreneurs to marketing and financial tools to help them sustain their businesses. In 2019, we established a business support center in St. Mark, and we are well on the way to open another in St. David, that is the Beaton Community Center. What we are doing now is to ensure that the center is outfitted with the appropriate tools and equipment so that it can become operational very soon. For this year, thus far, we have approved through the Grenada Development Bank 40 new loans for young entrepreneurs, and they are currently disbursed, amounting to $280,000. The areas approved includes juice processing, fishing, food preparation, farming, including poultry, graphic design, and printing. We also have at hand 12 new applications from young entrepreneurs at a value of $186,000. YouthBiz will also spearhead the implementation of the Youth Entrepreneurship Training and Grant Funding through the COVID Economic Support Stimulus Package. We were able to negotiate through the Ministry of Finance and CDB to receive COVID stimulus for our young entrepreneurs, and the training will target 300 young people who are already operating small businesses or who are interested in starting small businesses. It will be conducted over a period of 4 weeks throughout the island, and our priority areas include agriculture, fishing, food preparation, and small engine repairs, to name a few. Participants will be asked, or they have already been asked, to register and submit a summary of their business proposal. And the ministry will engage training partners such as TAMCC, SIDAC, SAEB, GIDC, and GDB to ensure that the key focus areas selected are relevant. And the budget for this training and grant funding is $1.3 million. Under our youth rehabilitation program, we focus on Project Fly. Project FLY, Fostering Level-Headed Youth, is an integrated one-year program, community-based training. So it is focused at the community level for at-risk communities and at-risk young people. The project is designed to target the young people, the families and the communities with the aim of building resilience against criminogenic factors impacting vulnerable segments of the population. Emphasis is placed on life skills, technical and vocational education, and training in small business. In 2021, we had 80 participants who were engaged from the communities of Monkridge, St. Patrick, and Bellevue, St. David. Participants are currently in the civic component of the program in areas such as general hospitality, sewing and fashion design, geriatric care, solar repair, plumbing, electrical installation, to name a few. These current trainees will be completing their 1 year in August of 2022, but for this year, we have already engaged a new batch in the communities of Vendome, St. George, La Poterie, St. Andrew, Victoria, St. Mark, and Soubise, St. Andrew. And we are hoping that they can begin on April 4th. On the youth participation, the Youth Parliament. The Youth Parliament gives our young parliamentarians the opportunity to understand parliamentary proceedings, give them a platform to debate on national issues, to develop their public speaking skills and leadership skills. We have just concluded another session of the National Youth Parliament where over 120 young people received training and participated. We are hoping that we will have more young people training in this current year. The youth parliamentarians would debate on bills and resolutions that are currently before the Houses of Parliament, acts recently passed by the Houses of Parliament, matters being considered for legislation, and matters being discussed publicly in the media. We have already made the call for the interested young people to register for this new session of the Parliament, which will begin in April of this year. And usually the Parliament is conducted first at the parish level, and then the top debaters move on to the national level where they will be engaged for 3 sittings. The Division of Youth continues to be very active in the development of our young people and empowering them, giving them the necessary tools and skills needed to make their valuable contribution towards nation development. And we are very grateful to the stakeholders who have been working tremendously with us to ensure the successful implementation of our programs and projects. Thank you, and this has been an update from the Division of Youth Development.
As you indicated, Minister, very, very active ministry, several programs underway benefiting hundreds of youth across the nation, and much more to come on stream. We have this week the launch of the Imani Batch 8. At this point, I invite members of the media who are present this morning to ask their questions. I see we have Gerard Joseph from GBN, Donella, Nancy Maguire, and Tanisha Paul. Gerard, I see your hand is up. You may go ahead with your question. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. Since we are at the point of launching another batch of Imani trainees, please just walk us through the process of being considered for an opportunity to be in the program. Based on information that I have gotten firsthand from one of your field staff, it is understood that the MP has to submit a listing which is considered, and no transparency was used. It is against this backdrop that I request your explanation for a young person who genuinely wants an opportunity and has no relationship with a minister or MP.
Okay, thank you very much, Gerard, for this very important question. because this is a notion that has also been expressed to me. First of all, let me explain that we do have the Imani Secretariat, where young people can fill out the application forms and submit it there. The Imani Secretariat will compile a database of all the applicants who have expressed interest into the program. Secondly, we do have participants who will visit their constituency offices, discuss with the MPs their interests as well. So we receive the participants from those at the constituency offices as well as those at the youth center. The MPs, of course, will have to look and review the list to ensure that all the people who have expressed interest into the program can get in. But to say that it is the MP submitting the list is not entirely correct. We do have the Secretariat who will present the list of applicants through the years who have expressed interest, as well as those coming through the constituency offices.
Thank you, Minister. Gerard, do you have another question?
Yes, I do. A Facebook posting by the small business unit on Facebook days ago says a small business program should have started last Monday. 2 persons who have shown interest in the program have reportedly been told to go and give their names at the parliamentary representative office. There is that same fear that since they are not party aligned, they would be denied the opportunity. How are you, the government is ensuring young people without political allegiance are given a fair opportunity?
We ensure that all of our young people are given a fair opportunity to participate in all of our programs. And that is why we have the Division of Youth Development with different units. So the Youth Biz unit will spearhead the registration and implementation of the small business training and grant funding that you're speaking about. It was advertised publicly so that young people can be aware and be given a fair opportunity. What has happened, some people go directly to the members of parliament who are elected to represent them, as well as through the constituency office. And we also have those who will register at the Division of Youth Development, Youth Biz unit. So all the data will be compiled, and those who meet the criteria will be given first preference.
Donella Hostin, you're next. Please go ahead with your question. Nisha Paul and Nancy McGuire, I see you have questions as well. We'll come to you after. Donella, go ahead. Good morning.
Morning. Donella Hostin, MTV News. My question to the minister, in terms of the Empower program, can you speak to the successes of the participants, whether they have, I know they receive their qualifications, but whether they do get placement, or do you have statistics on any placements, job placements, or maybe that they started their own businesses?
Yes, we can forward the actual statistics from the Empower program. However, I must say that our young men who are involved in the program, we ensure that they acquire the right skills, a CVQ skills component. They are graduating with that certification that they never had. So, of course, this is an area of success. That is what we use to measure success. We also have the grant fund distribution of those who express interest in starting their own businesses. They are monitored by the Youth Biz division of the Ministry of Youth, and we have those who also express interest in enhancing their academic qualification. So the grant funding goes towards the payment of tuition fees. So these are the different mechanisms used to measure the success. The actual statistics can be submitted later.
Donella, is there another question from you this morning?
Not right now, thank you.
Okay, Nisha Paul, good morning to you. Please go ahead with your question. Nisha, good morning.
Good morning to everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please proceed.
Okay. Okay, so my first question, as it relates to the youth parliament, can the minister explain the selection process, as there has been concerns expressed in parliament that persons are handpicked to participate in the youth parliament? And my second question deals with the minister spoke about the programs being reviewed periodically, and can she explain the findings of the review of the different programs? Thank you.
Okay, so as it relates to the National Youth Parliament, first of all, the Ministry of Youth will put out an expression of interest or a call for young participants. This is advertised via the social media page, via the radio and television platforms. So young people will become aware that there is a call for new participants. We also have our youth officers who are in the field daily, and they will come in contact with young people who will express their interest to them. So eventually what happens thereafter, they will do an application form. And young people, they're given the opportunity to be interviewed. They're also given the opportunity, every young person who express interest in the youth parliament will be invited to begin training. And from that training, we select the top people for the parish youth parliament and subsequently the national youth parliament. As it relates to assessing our training programs, it is very important that you do so to remain relevant. So what we do is to identify the weaknesses of the program, areas to be enhanced. So for example, you may have participants who are in the program and they are not attending for various reasons. These are things we look at and ways in which we can curb it. We do have many of our participants who are undergoing many social issues. And it does not mean that because they are not participating at a particular moment that we should get rid of them from the program. We give our young people the opportunity to receive second and third chances after analyzing the circumstances that they face, preventing them from attending the program the way we want them to. And that is why we developed this social care unit, because we found that a lot of our young people are involved in domestic situations that need the psychosocial support, and we established our social care unit to assist with them. We also have issues where our young people or even the program supervisors and so may not have been attending or supervising our trainees in the way we want them to. Of course, we provide further training to our supervisors and mentors so that they can provide efficient and effective supervision and mentorship to our trainees. So it is always an ongoing process if we want to remain effective and to achieve the goals of the various programs. We do assess and we make the changes where necessary.
Nisha, anything further from you?
Yes, please. Minister, can you speak to the percentage of the number of persons involved that we're seeing these challenges with, the challenges you spoke of? Thank you.
It is in the minority, I must say, not more than, let's say, 30% of our participants who are falling victims of some of the social issues that is preventing them from participating fully in the programs.
Thank you, Minister. Nancy Maguire, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning. On the Youth Biz program, I'm just wondering how you reach out to these young business entrepreneurs if they do not come into the constituency office or the other ways that they can get through and they don't know about it. I'm sure there's lots out there that don't know about it. And On the statistics that you provided for the Imani program over the years, have you done any follow-up to see how many are actually still in business or still permanently employed? And on the training aspects of the various programs, who determines who teaches what? Do you just depend on TAMCC, or how does this work out in who's training our young people? Thank you very much.
Okay, as it relates to young people finding out the different areas of training offered by the Division of Youth, we do have a variety of means that we use. We have youth officers for every area. They go out and inform the young people of the upcoming programs, the training programs of the division. We also do advertise very heavily on our social media page, because we know that in this era, a lot of our young people, we can find them on social media. As it relates to, if you can remind me of the other questions.
So has there been any follow-up to see how many imams are still permanently employed?
Yes, we always do follow up and keep in touch with our Imani participants and participants from our various programs who have been transitioned. Mainly we do that so that they can provide their testimonies of their journey through the Imani program, encouraging other young people to participate and to take advantage of the programs. And so, as it relates to the statistics part of it, that can be compiled and the report can be submitted thereafter, because I don't have it on me at present. But we always keep in touch with our participants who have moved on, and they are always keep in touch with us as well, because they are very grateful. Most of them are very grateful for the opportunities received in the various programs. There was a last question.
Yes, the final question was, who determines who teaches what?
Right. So all of our training providers must be NTA certified. And we do have an expression of interest by facilitators as well as training organizations. These, of course, are reviewed, and the selection process takes its place.
Thank you very much, Minister. Nancy, is there anything further from you? Okay, I don't think she has anything else. Minister, I want to go back to something that you mentioned, the inclusion of persons who are challenged, persons who belong to the Grenada National Council for the Disabled. Tell us about that decision. How many persons are you going to be incorporated? What sort of physical challenges they have, and what are the areas of interest for them?
And this is very important. As indicated earlier, we always do a periodic assessment of our programs and ways in which we can enhance it. We have realized that over the years, we had very few participants from the Grenada National Council for the Disabled. And we made a clarion call this year to the council to engage participants. So we have 17 participants this year who will be engaged, and at present they are involved in the registration process. Therefore, the areas of interest have not been recorded as yet.
Do you yet know if you would have to make any special accommodation for them in the program?
Yes, the discussion, and PS can assist here with the Grenada National Council for Disabled. We have been discussing ways in which we can accommodate them to ensure that they are not disadvantaged in any way and they can receive the full benefits of the program.
Thank you. PS Jessamy?
Thank you, Minister. And if I may add, one of the areas of support which is very critical for allowing the differently able to participate is transportation, because some of them will not be able to access the training if they use the general transport. And as a ministry, we are committed to provide private transportation for each one of them. I must say that I visited the youth center last week just to witness the registration process. And I was pleased to see that the differently able were there before 8 o'clock. They have support. They came with support from the council, and we had a little chat. And the excitement to just be selected, they were so happy to see that they have this opportunity. And that is where the discussion takes place on what type of particular support they would need. So transport is one, and also we will ensure that in the support we give, for example, in the registration for snack boxes and so, we also check to see what are the health issues, what type of support. I want to also inform that even in the launch of the batch 8 for the Imanis on Thursday, we make arrangement with the IGPF, we make arrangement with protocol, we make arrangement with the Ministry of Health, because if you have over 1,000 persons available, present at the stadium, different things could happen. So as a ministry, we want to ensure that we care for our clients and we care for our stakeholders. So I really want to say thank you to the team, because registration is not from 8 to 4. Registration happens way after working hours, and they have been given that support. The staff is committed, and also the registration is ongoing. I would like to highlight that in enhancing the program, I like the integration between youth development and national security. Because when we launched Empower, I was very much impressed to see 25 young men who said to us, I was looking for this opportunity outside of prison. I didn't get it. And we have a lot of testimonials, and I do believe that the question of how do we stay in contact, that we can use the successful stories to share with communities, and so that people will know that these are ambassadors of these programs from your community, and they are doing quite well. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. You took me directly to my next question. Gerard and Nancy, I see that you have questions, but I just have this one for the PS. The inclusion of inmates at the prison in the Empower program. Now, rehabilitation is a critical part of the prison reform process. How has this been working? And I mean, you already said that the feedback from the young men has been positive. Is that something that we're definitely going to continue and hopefully grow the numbers of participants?
Thank you for that question. You know, normally persons see Her Majesty Prison, the function that most people are familiar with is the custody function. And so rehabilitation is something that we are really promoting, and I believe that the team at Her Majesty's Prison is doing an excellent job, because the program allows for the 25 persons to participate, but administratively it means that you have persons who will escort them from their cells to participate, making sure that for the duration of the training they have security in place, and also the interaction with the staff of the youth division. And this is a weekly ongoing process. I must say that the areas they choose are things that will help them to reintegrate. When they come from prisons, they will be able to rebuild their lives. And in addition to Empower, we also have a committee working to assist inmates who come outside of, who would have served their time. And we stay in touch with them, one, to help them to provide for housing, to provide for references. You see, when you come, when you're an inmate, after you're released, it is a process to rebuild your life. And that is why I would say that as a community, as a nation, we have a responsibility to allow persons for a second and third chance, as Minister would have said. And SPS for both national security and youth development, I like the linkage between the portfolios, because at one hand you see vibrant youths, at the other hand you also have youth, but they are not in the best position. I want to say that when you look at the population of prisons, between 18 and 40 years is the majority of the population we have. So about 70% of the population in Her Majesty's Prison are young people. And so we cannot only focus on those outside of prisons. And I'm really helpful to see that Minister has this vision to say we must give a certain percentage of the Empower funds to those inside the walls of Her Majesty Prison, and also the target implementation of the program with the Council of the Disabled, because they need a fair chance as well.
Thank you very much, PS. I see Nancy McGuire, you have a question. Please go ahead.
Yes, thanks. I was following up on my question about training in the Youth Biz program. Do you have any idea of how many like private businesses that are, say, in the electrician or plumbing, those kinds of trades, that have apprentices in that program? And I'm wondering about the age cutoff for youth. Is it some magical number? Like, why isn't it 40? And what else was I going to ask? That's all I can remember for the moment. I had one more, but I've lost it. Thanks.
Thank you, Nancy. Minister?
Yes, we do have our young entrepreneurs involved in a wide variety of business areas. To give the exact numbers for each area, it's difficult at this time. The statistics can be compiled. Okay, so youth and its age range. It is just the national policy to consider youth as being from 18 to 35. And that is how we define youth in Grenada at this time. Yeah.
Thank you, Minister. Nisha Paul, you had a question as well. And I see Jared Joseph is back. Jared, we'll come to you after. Nisha, please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, Nisha, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Is it possible that an update can be provided on the unemployment among the youth population at this time, and also as it relates to the opening of the center in St. David? Can you provide some more details on that, and as well as the criteria for qualification under the Youth Bees program? I think you said where 14 new loans were approved. Can you speak to that, please? How do persons qualify? Thanks.
Okay. As it relates to the Youth Bees Center in St. David, this would be the second business hub to be opened. Where we are now, we have complete the refurbishment of the center, and we are in the process of outfitting it with the right tools, the right equipment, the computers necessary, the human resource necessary, so that we can officially open and ensure it becomes operationalized to the people of St. David and that side of the country. Okay, so that was one of the questions. Another question, give me a reminder of the other questions.
One other question was the unemployment among the youth population. I'm not sure if you have that, but I'm checking with statistics.
Yes, so I would say that the Central Statistics Department of the Ministry of Finance compiles this data and would have that information.
So I've already requested that. So if I get it during the course of the program, I'll update. If not, I can share that afterwards.
Right. And there was another question about the qualification
for the youth-based loan program.
Right. We advertise the Youth Bees program nationally. We have an ad that plays regularly on radio and television so that young entrepreneurs know that there is training and financing opportunities for them. Once they are interested, they visit the Youth Bee Center in St. Mark or the Division of Youth Development. We also have youth officers who are around as they do field work, providing information to our young people who are interested. So it's just a phone call, and sometimes they visit, the interested entrepreneurs visit their constituency offices. Many of them come to me. We take their information and we present it to the Youth Bees Division, who will reach out to them. So it's a matter of expressing your interest and we give you the opportunity to receive the training. The participants are guided into towards the loan application process, all the documents that they need to have, and so because the loan is facilitated through the GDB, and it is basically providing all the assistance required for the young people to acquire these loans.
So I think, Nisha, in terms of the actual criteria for accessing the loan, we'll have to make contact with the GDB to get the specifics of that, if that's what you were seeking.
Just one correction. The Youth Bees department will facilitate it, and then we make the contact with the GDB, not the young people. So the young interested entrepreneurs make contact with the Division of Youth Development, Youth Bees units.
Thank you, Minister. Nisha, anything else from you?
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gerard, we're back to you. Go ahead.
Yes. Food security remains an issue. From all of the programs listed, the Empower Imani, how many agriculture programs are there for our nation's youth in terms of boosting the agri-industry or agriculture overall? And my second question is, there was a draft national youth policy by government 2015 to 2018. It's still in draft. Is there any updates? Would it be left on the shelf? Would it be put into implementation?
As it relates to the food security and the training opportunities presented to our young people, all of our programs at the CVQ level includes general agriculture, food processing, and so to ensure that young people are given the opportunity to increase our food supply, and they have indicated the interest. Also under the SIAP, there are many programs geared towards improving our food security, and the Ministry of Agriculture, they are developing the Youth in Agriculture program. I know they have already secured the funding under the CDF through the Caribbean Development Bank to begin the implementation of that program. So we have been doing a lot to ensure that young people can contribute towards our own food security as well. Okay.
The youth policy?
Oh, as it relates to the youth policy, yes, we have been working closely with the Legal Affairs Department to ensure that the actual policy can be finalized so we can take it first to Cabinet and then to Parliament. We have been working consistently on that to ensure it does not remain on the shelf, but to ensure it can go towards Parliament and therefore thereafter implementation.
Do we have a timeline for that, Minister?
We are hoping by the end of this year that can be done because we were actually hoping last year, but with the legal affairs having a lot of work to do, we also depend on them to get it up and running.
Thank you. Nisha Paul, do you have a further question? Or is that from previously?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Members of the media, do we have any questions from anyone else this morning? Nothing further from media. I have not picked up any questions online from our viewing audience. I guess we can wrap up at this stage. P.S., I'll allow you to make some closing comments to touch on anything we didn't that you would like to include, or just to review anything that we've discussed.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that we remain committed at the Ministry of Youth Development to work together with all other portfolios to support our youth. I believe that any investment in young persons in this nation is an investment not only for today, but for our future. The programs are designed in a holistic way, and so we are calling out on young persons, please come and register. Take advantage of this opportunity. The persons who went before you are telling us how significant it made a difference in their lives. We see the young people that we are registering as ambassadors from their community because their story will be what people will remember. And also, as their family will see the breakthrough in their own life, they can become an example for others to follow. So I'm looking forward to see all the 1,000 plus young persons of our communities, to see them in the National Stadium on Thursday. Every day we are facilitating requests from young persons, not only at the youth center because they come at the ministerial complex. I want to call all the persons who want to participate, please follow the procedure, because sometimes we extend the deadlines to facilitate and people still believe that they will not come or will come at another date. Please follow the deadlines. We extend all the deadlines. I have facilitated all my staff to stay longer than 4 o'clock at the youth center so that we can have persons to register. The reason why they go to constituency offices is that some persons are living in the communities and it's difficult for them to go to Granans, but we open up so that we can give everybody a fair chance. So I look forward to see the number of registration to go up. Our implementation rate, we believe that with the support we have at the policy level, with the support of minister, but also the support from other ministries and departments, that we will have an excellent implementation rate this year. I'm really happy to join this team. It is young, vibrant, so I try to stay on top of things as well. And the commitment is that even though for those who sign up for this month, we're making sure, working together with the Ministry of Finance, that we will process the financial support on time. So if we process it on time, we expect them to perform as expected. Thank you.
Thank you very much, P.S. Jessamy. One question that just came to mind in terms of the collaboration with stakeholders, because yes, these are government initiatives, but we have to work with partners. How is that? How supportive are stakeholders in this whole process of youth development in Grenada?
I would give all our stakeholders 100%. The reason is that we contacted the NIS, we contacted the banks, the credit unions and so. And I want to give this example where we indicate that, for example, they would be in the youth center for specific days. We had requests of persons who did not complete, and the NIS team, they themselves tell us we are willing to come the next day. That is commitment, because, and I didn't have to write another letter to the director to ask. They say they will speak to this, they will speak to the supervisors, and they came additional days. And I would say from all the financial institutions, Grenada Cooperative Bank, we have Arisa, we have Communal, I hope I call all of them, but we didn't have any problem. The reason is we are in COVID-19 times and we must get appointments for our young people to make sure that they can get bank accounts. All the financial institutions facilitated us to say, well, okay, we will give you a segment of the day to facilitate your staff. So the dedication is there. And I do believe that with a one-stop service, so you come to the youth center, you could get your NIS card on the spot, you get your bank account on the spot. That was an excellent collaboration. And this is something we want to continue to do to make sure that we reduce the hassle for young persons to go to Granans, then go to St. George's, then come back. So we want to make sure that the service that we delivered is on time, is professional, is with support and without any hassle, just to ensure that we can get them on board.
Thank you very much, P.S. Minister, before we come to you for your closing comments, one question came in from media. Can persons who are partially employed join any of the programs, or do you have to give a full-time commitment?
Most of our programs require full-time commitment. But of course, if you're partially employed and you have a business idea, you can engage the small business unit. So that does not prevent you from being partially employed and operating a small business. So they can get into that aspect. But as it relates to the Empower or the e-money and Fly, we're looking for full-time commitment.
Thank you very much, Minister. And while you have the floor, you can bring us your closing comments, thoughts, feedback, whatever it is.
Yes, so I want to say special thanks to all the viewers and listeners, the media personnel for all the questions they have asked, ensuring that they can bring clarity to the general public on the programs that we offer. Because as a government, we continue to invest heavily in youth development, and we cannot do it alone. So we always make that call to our other stakeholders who have been partnering with us. We look at businesses within the private sector, ensuring that our participants of the different programs can receive on-the-job training, that is the apprenticeship training. We look at the service providers, the facilitators, the NTA. So we work closely with the private sector to ensure we can deliver these programs effectively to our young people. So we always call on our young people to take these opportunities that they receive seriously, because we have areas where our young people sometimes are failing themselves, but we are still willing to give them the opportunity to step up so that they can achieve all the different academic qualifications, the technical and vocational qualifications that they need. And one of the challenges the young people will indicate, the level of commitment that they have in other areas that they are not focused. But we continue to work with them and develop our own programs in a way that we can cater to their needs, because we understand that our young people, we prepare them today so that they can make that necessary contribution to our country's development. We will continue to work with them. We are fully committed, and we have been investing heavily. We will continue to do so. We will review all our programs as we usually do to ensure it remains relevant, ensure that it remains fit for purpose so that our young people can benefit. So again, those who have been doing well, because we do have young people who are doing very well, unattached to our programs, and we commend them for their efforts in nation building and so on. We will continue to ensure as a government we put the right measures in place, ensure that we create the enabling environment so that our young people can thrive, can, empower themselves and eventually be our future leaders, our future entrepreneurs. Okay, so that our nation will be in good hands. And we are fully committed, and we thank the team at the Division of Youth Development. They work hard. They go above and beyond. And sometimes the work in the background is not noticed. So we want to recognize them for their hard work and commitment towards youth development in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. You can put your mic back on because I have one other question for you. You mentioned the constant review of the program, and what I noticed from your earlier statement was the inclusion of ICT.
Yes.
We're in an increasingly technological world. The pandemic has made it even more so, and you've now incorporated some elements of ICT. Tell us a little bit more about that and how important that is in the evolution of the programs that you offer to the nation's youth.
Yes, we are in a digital world, and we want our young people to be relevant in this era. So we have incorporated a lot of our ICT programs within the training aspects of the different projects. We look at web design, social media facilitation, and all of these things incorporating ICT in agriculture, incorporating ICT in every sector. And we are training our young people so that they can become employable, they can become self-employed in these areas of digitalization in this era, which is so important as we look at the fourth industrial revolution and we're moving on to these things. So we understand the need to update our programs so that it remains relevant and provide the opportunities that our young people need to thrive in this world.
Thank you very much, Minister. That was the final one. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we come to the end of this morning's post-cabinet press briefing. Of course, we were talking all about youth development, a very active ministry, several programs underway. And this week on Thursday, we'll have the launch of Batch 8 of the Imani program. Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, who also has responsibility for youth development, will be present at that ceremony, and he will be addressing the trainees. On that note, thank you again for joining us, to members of the media, to our listening and viewing audience. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson, We'll see you again next time. Continue to be safe.
Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. for Interesting Grenadians, a program that showcases the lives of interesting